Caitlin Clark got a $5 million offer from Ice Cube's Big Three.
The moment everyone's talking about just went down live. And it's shocking. Angel Reese, one of the most dominant stars in women's basketball, was publicly humiliated on air by none other than Ice Cube. And it all revolved around Caitlin Clark. Fans were glued to their screens as the exchange unfolded, and the energy was electric, tense, and downright uncomfortable. Angel, known for her confidence, charisma, and on-court dominance, faced a level of public rejection that most athletes never experience, especially not live, in front of millions of viewers. The incident sparked instant reaction across social media. Clips of the exchange went viral, and fans couldn't stop replaying every moment. Some were outraged, defending Angel and calling out Ice Cube for what they saw as unnecessary and harsh treatment. Others debated the context, asking whether this was part of sports commentary, personal opinion, or a deeper commentary on loyalty, preference, and recognition in women's basketball. What made this moment even more dramatic was the contrast between Angel Reese's
Caitlin Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this.
Fiery persona and Ice Cube's cold, dismissive approach. Angel has built her reputation on being bold, unapologetic, and competitive, both on and off the court. But in this situation, she was publicly shut down, leaving her stunned and visibly frustrated. The optics were brutal. What was meant to be a discussion or commentary quickly became a moment of embarrassment that fans are still talking about hours later. This wasn't just about basketball. It was about recognition, respect, and the influence of big names in shaping narratives. Caitlin Clark, naturally, became a focal point, with fans debating why Ice Cube seemed to favor her over Angel Reese. The live stream moment captured
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a
raw emotion, shock, and tension that resonated far beyond the court. It's a reminder of how public scrutiny, celebrity influence, and competitive dynamics can collide in ways that are equal parts dramatic and polarizing. Everyone is asking, what happens next for Angel Reese? Will she respond, reclaim her narrative, or let this moment define the conversation? Fans are already weighing in, analyzing reactions, and predicting the next move. One thing is certain, this moment won't be forgotten anytime soon, and the fallout is just beginning. The tension in the arena was palpable, even for viewers watching from home. What began as a routine segment featuring two of basketball's most talked-about figures quickly spiraled into a live spectacle that left fans reeling. Angel Reese, the powerhouse of women's basketball, known for her dominance on the court and unapologetic confidence off it, found herself at the center of an unexpected storm. The incident wasn't the result of poor performance or an on-court mistake. It happened in the world of commentary and celebrity opinion, where influence and recognition can shift the narrative instantly. Ice Cube, a legend with decades of influence in entertainment and sports, had made his stance clear, and it wasn't in Angel Reese's favor. The live stream began with what appeared to be a simple discussion about current players in women's basketball and their impact on the sport. Both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were mentioned, with the focus initially on their performances, stats, and contributions to their respective teams. Angel, who thrives on competitive energy and charisma, had entered the conversation prepared to assert herself, not only as an athlete but as a personality capable of handling the spotlight. However, the atmosphere quickly shifted as Ice Cube weighed in. Known for his authoritative presence and unfiltered commentary, he didn't mince words. What might have been a light-hearted opinion or casual ranking transformed into a public rejection that caught Angel off guard. The live audience could feel the energy shift, and it was mirrored online almost instantly. Clips from the broadcast began circulating within seconds, with fans reacting to every pause, gesture, and word. Angel, who normally handles scrutiny with poise, was visibly thrown. The rejection was blunt and unmistakable, leaving her momentarily speechless, a rare sight for someone accustomed to commanding attention both on and off the court. Viewers immediately noticed the contrast. Here was a star athlete, celebrated for her assertiveness and resilience, being publicly shut down by one of the most influential figures in sports and entertainment. The discussion quickly moved beyond mere performance to reputation and recognition. Fans debated whether Ice Cube's comments were fair or unnecessarily harsh, and why Caitlin Clark, Angel's contemporary and sometimes rival in public discourse, seemed to be favored. The narrative shifted from basketball skills to perception, influence, and the politics of visibility in sports commentary. It became clear that this was no longer just about individual talent. It was about power dynamics and the way public figures can shape opinion with a single statement. Social media erupted almost instantly. Clips of the exchange were posted across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, each edited to emphasize the shock, tension, and humiliation. Fans rallied around Angel Reese, defending her as a dominant figure who didn't deserve such public dismissal. Others took a step back, analyzing the context, questioning whether this type of commentary was part of the larger culture of sports media, where personalities with influence can make or break reputations in seconds. The intensity of reactions underscored the reality that in today's era, athletic performance and public perception are inseparable. Angel's response, or the lack thereof in those initial moments, was telling. For someone with her level of confidence and stage presence, being publicly rejected in such a blunt way left her momentarily speechless, highlighting the power of influence and the weight of celebrity commentary. The situation became a lesson in how quickly public narratives can shift when authority and reputation intersect. In this instance, Ice Cube's stature amplified the impact of his words, making Angel's moment of vulnerability both unavoidable and highly visible. As fans dissected the segment, discussions emerged about broader implications. Was this a matter of personal opinion, a reflection of media bias, or a demonstration of the influence certain figures hold over public perception? Some viewers argued that Caitlin Clark's achievements were being highlighted unfairly at Angel's expense, while others saw it as a commentary on consistency, branding, and public presentation. Regardless of perspective, it was clear that the live stream had created a cultural flashpoint, a moment where celebrity influence collided with athletic prowess, and a young star's reputation hung in the balance. By the end of the segment, the atmosphere was electric. Angel Reese, normally unshakable, had been publicly challenged in a way that many had never seen before. Ice Cube's rejection wasn't mean-spirited, but it was undeniable, direct, and impossible to ignore. The fallout was immediate. Clips continued to circulate, reactions poured in from fans, commentators, and other athletes, and the narrative began to take on a life of its own. Social media discussions were no longer about stats or skills, they were about respect, recognition, and the dynamics of influence in modern sports culture. Even beyond the digital sphere, the incident sparked conversations within the basketball community. Coaches, analysts, and former players weighed in, debating how public perception shapes an athlete's career and how moments like these can affect confidence, reputation, and future opportunities. The exchange highlighted a truth many athletes already understand. In the age of social media, performance isn't measured solely by points scored or games won, but also by public reception and narrative control. By the time the segment concluded, Angel Reese's moment had become much more than a single exchange. It was a cultural event, a collision of personality, talent, and authority that forced audiences to consider how influence, reputation, and public scrutiny intersect in high-stakes spaces. While the initial shock was raw and immediate, the implications were long-lasting, leaving both fans and athletes to reflect on what it means to navigate fame, competition, and authority simultaneously. Angel's story, and Ice Cube's decisive commentary, would be analyzed, debated, and remembered long after the live stream ended, proving that in today's world, the line between athletic skill and public perception has never been more intertwined. As the news of Angel Reese's live rejection by Ice Cube circulated, the incident rapidly evolved from a shocking moment into a full-blown cultural conversation. What began as a straightforward discussion about women's basketball had turned into a viral flashpoint, highlighting the dynamics of fame, influence, and public perception. For Angel, a young athlete whose reputation is built not just on her on-court dominance but also her fearless confidence, this moment tested her poise in a way few had seen before. Fans and analysts alike were forced to re-examine what it means to be a public figure in a space where commentary can instantly shape perception. Immediately after the segment aired, social media exploded. Clips of Ice Cube delivering his blunt dismissal of Angel Reese spread across TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The reaction was instantaneous and intense. Some fans expressed outrage, defending Angel as a dominant athlete who had been unfairly marginalized in favor of Caitlin Clark. Others debated the context, questioning whether Ice Cube's comments were a reflection of personal opinion, a commentary on style and visibility, or a deeper evaluation of athletic accomplishments. The engagement was unprecedented, as millions weighed in, dissecting every word, pause, and reaction. The conversation quickly shifted beyond individual performance into a discussion about power, influence, and celebrity authority. Ice Cube, as an iconic figure in music, film, and sports commentary, wields a level of respect and cultural influence few can rival. When he chooses to voice an opinion, it carries weight, sometimes disproportionately so. In this situation, his dismissal of Angel Reese, however subtle or unintentional it may have been, became a defining moment, reminding viewers how authority can shape narratives in real time. Angel's initial shock illustrated this point vividly. Her usual confidence and bravado were challenged by someone whose status commands attention and whose words are amplified instantly. The contrast between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark became central to the discourse. Fans debated why Ice Cube seemed to favor Clark over Reese, and what that implied about visibility, personality, and media narratives. Caitlin, who is widely recognized for her scoring ability, leadership, and media-friendly persona, was positioned in a way that many saw as an unfair benchmark against Reese. Yet, the underlying discussion wasn't about talent alone, it was about perception, branding, and the subtle ways influence can sway public opinion. In essence, the moment highlighted how cultural authority intersects with athletic recognition, and how even elite athletes are not immune to public judgment. Beyond social media, the incident prompted debates within the basketball community. Analysts, former players, and coaches weighed in, discussing how public perception can impact an athlete's confidence and career trajectory. Some noted that while performance on the court remains paramount, public recognition and narrative control are increasingly critical in modern sports. This incident, broadcast live and amplified online, illustrated the dual pressures athletes face: excelling on the court while simultaneously navigating a complex ecosystem of celebrity influence, commentary, and audience judgment. Angel's reaction, particularly in the moments immediately following the dismissal, offered a rare glimpse into the emotional reality of these dynamics. Despite her reputation for confidence and unapologetic assertiveness, being publicly rejected in such a blunt and visible manner left her momentarily speechless. This reaction humanized her in the eyes of the audience, demonstrating that even the most dominant figures can experience vulnerability under the weight of authority and public scrutiny. Fans quickly picked up on this vulnerability, sparking discussions about the psychological pressures athletes face when performance is constantly measured against both peers and public expectations. The incident also sparked a broader conversation about the role of commentary and critique in sports media. Where should the line be drawn between analysis and personal bias? How much influence should a celebrity hold over public perception of athletes? While some argued that Ice Cube was entitled to his opinion, others contended that his position of influence made his comments disproportionately impactful, especially when delivered live to millions. The debate highlighted a growing awareness of the responsibilities that come with public commentary in an era where social media ensures that no moment is fleeting. As the conversation developed, many fans began to examine the dynamics between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark more critically. Was the focus on Clark justified based on performance, or did personality, media friendliness, and audience perception play a larger role? These discussions revealed how complex recognition and branding have become in professional sports. Athletic ability alone no longer guarantees respect or visibility. Media narratives, celebrity influence, and public perception are equally significant. Angel's experience served as a vivid case study in this reality, illustrating the multifaceted pressures athletes now face. The discourse also drew attention to issues of respect, fairness, and public scrutiny in sports culture. Social media users debated whether Angel's treatment reflected larger systemic issues, biases, favoritism, or uneven recognition in women's basketball. Critics argued that moments like these can unfairly shape an athlete's public image, while supporters emphasized resilience and the importance of reclaiming one's narrative. The incident became a lens through which audiences examined the intersection of authority, influence, and personal achievement. By the end of this wave of conversation, it was clear that the fallout from the live stream had evolved into something far more significant than a simple rejection. The narrative now encompassed fame, authority, vulnerability, and public perception. Angel Reese's moment of shock, Ice Cube's blunt commentary, and the ensuing online debate created a perfect storm of attention, scrutiny, and cultural reflection. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was a case study in how influence, perception, and authority collide in modern sports culture, leaving both athletes and audiences to navigate the delicate balance between talent, recognition, and respect. Ultimately, the incident underscored the reality that being a public figure in today's era means that every interaction, comment, and reaction carries weight far beyond the immediate context. Angel Reese, despite her on-court dominance, experienced firsthand how authority and celebrity opinion can shape narratives instantly. The episode served as a stark reminder that in modern sports, skill alone is no longer enough. Visibility, perception, and cultural influence play equally critical roles. For fans, analysts, and athletes alike, this moment offered a powerful example of the pressures, challenges, and opportunities inherent in navigating public life at the highest level. The aftermath of Angel Reese's live rejection by Ice Cube continued to reverberate across social media and the basketball community, transforming what might have been a single, shocking moment into a broader cultural conversation. Fans weren't just reacting to a public dismissal, they were grappling with the implications of influence, authority, and perception in the world of professional sports. Angel, known for her audacious confidence on the court and in public appearances, was forced into a moment of vulnerability, and viewers everywhere were forced to confront how public figures, no matter how talented, can be affected by authority and celebrity opinion. In the hours after the live stream, clips of the exchange circulated endlessly, each snippet dissected and analyzed. The internet had no shortage of opinions, and the debate split into multiple camps. Some fans defended Angel, arguing that her accomplishments and dominance on the court speak for themselves and that she should not be dismissed by anyone, regardless of their celebrity status. Others suggested that Ice Cube's commentary might have been influenced by personal bias, favoring Caitlin Clark for reasons beyond performance metrics, such as media persona or visibility. This division illustrated a key point. In the modern era, athletic skill is just one factor in public recognition. Narrative control, charisma, and branding are equally powerful. Angel's moment of shock captured something raw and unexpected. For an athlete whose confidence is central to her persona, being publicly dismissed was jarring. The reaction humanized her in a way that few fans had seen before, revealing that even the most accomplished and self-assured stars are not immune to the pressures of public opinion. Social media users seized upon this vulnerability, analyzing facial expressions, body language, and verbal cues to determine her emotional state. Every pause, look, and gesture became a talking point, highlighting how closely audiences scrutinize athletes under the modern media microscope. The incident also triggered discussions about the broader culture of sports commentary. Critics questioned whether public figures with influence, like Ice Cube, should exercise more caution when evaluating rising stars. Others argued that honest opinion is part of the ecosystem, and rejection, whether public or private, is inevitable in competitive spaces. What set this incident apart, however, was the intensity and immediacy of the response. Live streaming and social media have created an environment where even a brief comment can become a defining moment, amplified and repeated thousands of times within minutes. Angel's public moment of discomfort became a case study in the power of influence and the unpredictable dynamics of digital attention. Meanwhile, comparisons between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark intensified. Clark, celebrated for her scoring ability, leadership, and media-friendly persona, was often positioned as the standard-bearer for the sport in public discussions. Fans debated whether Reese's accomplishments were being overshadowed by Clark's visibility, suggesting that factors like audience perception, media representation, and personality can weigh just as heavily as performance in shaping public opinion. The discussion went beyond individual rivalry, pointing to systemic patterns in the way women's sports are covered and celebrated, and raising questions about the fairness and balance of commentary in high-profile broadcasts. At the same time, analysts and former athletes weighed in, offering insight into how public rejection can affect confidence and reputation. They highlighted that athletes are constantly navigating dual pressures, performing at the highest level on the court while managing public perception of it. Moments like this can be especially challenging for young athletes, as authority figures and celebrity commentators wield influence that can overshadow personal achievement. The combination of live broadcast, social media amplification, and cultural weight turned a single statement into a moment of lasting significance. Angel's response, or her initial silence, also became a focal point for conversation. While some criticized her for not immediately retaliating or asserting herself, others pointed out the difficulty of processing public rejection in real time. Maintaining composure while being dismissed by a figure of authority requires both emotional intelligence and resilience. The incident became a discussion about strategy, perception, and the ways athletes manage public image. Social media, in particular, framed her reaction as a learning moment, prompting debates about whether visible vulnerability should be perceived as weakness or authenticity. Beyond the personal drama, the exchange underscored a cultural truth: fame and influence are intertwined with accountability. Ice Cube's comments were amplified not solely because of the words themselves, but because of his status. Public figures, particularly those with decades of authority, carry weight in ways that can impact careers, fan perception, and media narratives. Angel's experience highlighted the responsibilities of authority in shaping these narratives, as well as the pressures young athletes face when they are evaluated not only for talent but also for media reception and popularity. As conversations continued, fans began exploring deeper themes: the intersection of confidence, vulnerability, and public perception in sports, the role of media and celebrity authority, and the broader implications for recognition and respect in women's basketball. It was no longer just about Angel or Caitlin, it became a dialogue about how society evaluates talent, personality, and visibility. Fans debated fairness, merit, and the psychological toll of living in the public eye, and many began to call for a more nuanced understanding of how influence shapes narratives. By the end of this phase, it was clear that the incident had become a cultural moment, transcending the live stream itself. Angel Reese's reaction, Ice Cube's authority, and the ensuing online discourse highlighted the complexity of public life in the digital era. The story evolved from a single act of rejection into a broader conversation about perception, authority, and the pressures faced by athletes navigating fame and competition simultaneously. What fans witnessed was more than a moment of embarrassment. It was a reflection of the delicate balance between talent, recognition, and the power of influence in shaping the stories we consume and believe. Ultimately, the live exchange served as both a cautionary tale and a learning opportunity. It reminded viewers that even the most confident and accomplished individuals are human and susceptible to public judgment. It also illustrated how authority and celebrity influence can shape narratives instantaneously, affecting reputation, perception, and cultural standing. Angel Reese's moment of vulnerability, coupled with the intense public scrutiny, created a cultural flashpoint that will be analyzed and referenced for years to come, offering lessons not just about sports, but about fame, influence, and the modern digital landscape. The fallout from Angel Reese's public rejection by Ice Cube continued to ripple across the sports world, social media, and entertainment spheres, evolving into a conversation far bigger than any single moment on a live stream. By this stage, what had begun as a shocking and uncomfortable exchange had grown into a cultural phenomenon, with fans, analysts, and fellow athletes dissecting every aspect of the interaction. The situation highlighted the immense pressures young athletes face in today's hyper-public environment, where performance, personality, and public perception are constantly under scrutiny. Angel, known for her confident and commanding presence on the court, had suddenly been thrust into a situation that forced her to confront vulnerability in real time, and millions of people were watching. Social media erupted immediately following the segment. Clips of Ice Cube delivering his blunt commentary spread like wildfire across TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Fans were divided, with some criticizing the basketball legend for what they perceived as an unnecessarily harsh dismissal, while others defended his right to voice personal opinions. Memes, reaction videos, and analysis posts multiplied at an unprecedented rate, reflecting how quickly a single live moment could transform into a viral phenomenon. The intensity of engagement underscored how deeply audiences care about both athletic performance and narrative framing, especially when it involves young, high-profile athletes like Angel Reese. This phase of the story also brought attention to the broader dynamics of gender and power in sports commentary. Women athletes, especially those at the top of their game, often face heightened scrutiny not only for their performance but also for their demeanor, personality, and public image. Angel Reese, with her bold, unapologetic personality, represents a new generation of athletes unafraid to express themselves both on and off the court. Yet in this instance, even her confidence wasn't enough to shield her from the weight of celebrity influence. Ice Cube's commentary became an inflection point, showing that even elite talent and bold self-assurance can be challenged when authority intersects with public perception. The contrast between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark also became a central talking point. Clark, celebrated for her scoring prowess and polished media presence, was perceived by many as Ice Cube's preferred athlete in this discussion. This sparked debates about how recognition is assigned in sports media. Is it purely performance-based, or do personality, media accessibility, and branding influence who receives praise? Fans and analysts alike began examining the subtle ways visibility and narrative control shape public perception, recognizing that talent alone no longer guarantees recognition. Angel's experience became emblematic of this reality, serving as a case study for how even top athletes navigate an ecosystem where influence and media presence matter as much as skill. Beyond social media, sports commentators, and analysts weighed in, discussing the psychological impact of public rejection on athletes. Public criticism, especially when delivered by someone with significant authority or cultural influence, can leave lasting effects on confidence, reputation, and mental health. Angel's initial pause and visible discomfort were dissected in countless posts, with experts noting how quickly moments like this can become defining if not managed carefully. The segment became a conversation starter about resilience, emotional intelligence, and the strategies athletes must employ to navigate public scrutiny effectively. Another critical dimension that emerged was the responsibility of public figures in shaping narratives. Ice Cube's status as a respected figure in both entertainment and sports meant his words carried weight. A casual remark could be amplified and interpreted as judgment, affecting not only Angel's public image but also how fans, sponsors, and media outlets discussed her career. This highlighted the modern reality for athletes. Their lives are increasingly lived under the lens of both performance and public opinion, and influential voices can dramatically impact how they are perceived. Angel's moment underscored how authority, visibility, and influence intersect to shape reputations in ways that extend far beyond the court. The incident also sparked conversations about emotional resilience and strategy. Fans debated whether Angel should have responded in the moment or allowed the commentary to pass. While some critics argued that a rebuttal would have asserted her dominance and confidence, others emphasized the difficulty of processing public humiliation live, especially in a high-stakes environment. These discussions illuminated the nuanced challenges faced by athletes in the digital era, where every reaction is amplified and scrutinized, and moments of vulnerability can be transformed into viral content in seconds. Moreover, the exchange ignited dialogue about the evolving relationship between athletes and the media. Social media has empowered athletes to control their narratives to an extent, but it has also increased the stakes. Every comment, reaction, and facial expression is observed, analyzed, and shared. Angel Reese's moment of rejection became a reminder that even the most self-assured athletes must balance authenticity with strategic awareness of public perception. Fans began discussing how athletes today must not only master their sport but also navigate the pressures of branding, influence, and narrative control. By the time discussions settled, the incident had become a cultural touchstone. It revealed how power, perception, and celebrity influence intersect in sports, particularly for young women breaking barriers in their fields. Angel Reese's experience highlighted both the challenges and opportunities of modern athletic life. Vulnerability is unavoidable, but it can also spark conversations about resilience, influence, and recognition. Ice Cube's commentary, while blunt, served as a catalyst for these discussions, forcing audiences to confront the complex realities of public life for athletes. Ultimately, this phase of the saga demonstrated that a single moment, amplified through live broadcasting and social media, can carry enormous weight. Angel Reese's public rejection by a figure of authority became a lesson in the pressures of fame, the dynamics of influence, and the role of resilience in navigating public life. Fans, commentators, and fellow athletes were reminded that in today's landscape, talent, personality, and visibility are intertwined, and that moments of vulnerability, while challenging, can also catalyze critical conversations about culture, power, and perception in sports. Angel's story was no longer just a moment, it had become a defining case study of the modern athletic experience. The aftermath of Angel Reese's live rejection by Ice Cube had settled into a broader cultural conversation. But the intensity of the discussion only grew as fans, athletes, and analysts began to dissect the implications in depth. By this stage, it was clear that the incident was far more than a single moment of discomfort or embarrassment. It had evolved into a complex narrative about authority, influence, gender, and perception in sports and media. Angel, despite her on-court dominance and fearless public persona, had been forced to confront vulnerability in front of millions, and the ripple effects of that exposure continued to shape discussions online and offline. In the days following the live stream, social media remained flooded with reactions. Clips were replayed and analyzed repeatedly, each frame scrutinized for meaning. The discussion expanded beyond immediate reactions to explore the broader themes of power dynamics, representation, and respect in women's sports. Fans debated not only the fairness of Ice Cube's commentary but also the cultural weight his words carried. While some argued that his opinion was valid as part of a free exchange in sports discussion, others highlighted the imbalance of influence, noting that Ice Cube's celebrity amplified the rejection in ways that most voices could not replicate. Angel's visible shock and momentary silence were repeatedly cited as evidence of how public authority can shape perception, even for highly confident individuals. This moment also reignited the comparison between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, though the discussion had grown more nuanced. Beyond individual performance, fans and analysts were increasingly focused on how narrative and media presence influence recognition. Clark, widely celebrated for her scoring ability, leadership, and media-savvy persona, often receives coverage that extends beyond her athletic accomplishments. Angel's experience highlighted the complexity of recognition. In addition to skill, visibility, branding, and audience perception play crucial roles in shaping public opinion. Fans began discussing the pressures athletes face to not only perform on the court but also navigate the ecosystem of public commentary and celebrity influence. Within the sports community, analysts, commentators, and former athletes weighed in to contextualize the incident. They discussed the psychological impact of public rejection, emphasizing that even highly skilled athletes can feel the sting of authority figures' opinions. Angel's moment served as a rare and instructive example of how vulnerability manifests under pressure. The discussion highlighted the dual challenge facing modern athletes, excelling in performance while maintaining composure and managing public perception. In a world where social media instantly amplifies any emotional reaction, these challenges are magnified exponentially. Angel's reaction to the rejection also prompted reflection on strategy and emotional intelligence. Some argued that she could have responded assertively in the moment, turning the exchange into an opportunity to reclaim the narrative. Others countered that expecting an immediate, composed reaction in a high-pressure, live environment is unrealistic. Her brief pause and visible discomfort became emblematic of the human side of professional athletics, reminding audiences that even the most confident individuals experience moments of doubt and surprise. The incident sparked a conversation about how public figures navigate moments of vulnerability while under the scrutiny of millions. Ice Cube's role in the narrative continued to be analyzed. As a figure with decades of influence across entertainment and sports, his commentary carried significant weight, and his apparent dismissal of Angel Reese became a lesson in the responsibility that comes with authority. The incident highlighted the delicate balance required when evaluating and discussing young, rising athletes. Celebrity influence can elevate or undermine perception, and moments of authority intersecting with talent can have lasting repercussions on public image. Angel's experience illustrated how quickly an influential voice can shape a narrative and set the tone for public discussion. Beyond personal dynamics, the incident sparked conversations about cultural expectations, representation, and fairness in sports media. Fans debated whether women athletes are judged differently than men, especially in moments of vulnerability or public scrutiny. Angel's experience provided a case study. A confident, talented athlete facing public dismissal by a figure of authority became a lightning rod for broader discussions about respect, gender, and media influence. Analysts explored how visibility, charisma, and personality intersect with achievement to determine recognition, revealing the complex web of factors that influence public perception in sports. The incident also prompted self-reflection among fans, with many recognizing their own role in amplifying and reacting to such moments. In today's digital age, audiences are not passive observers. They shape narratives through sharing, commenting, and debating. Angel Reese's moment of public vulnerability became a focal point for this dynamic, as social media engagement amplified every reaction and extended the story beyond the original live stream. This created both risk and opportunity. While the exposure could be intimidating or unfair, it also offered a chance for the athlete to reclaim and redefine the narrative over time. By this stage, the story had evolved from a moment of embarrassment into a complex cultural event. Angel Reese's public rejection became a lens through which audiences examined authority, gender dynamics, celebrity influence, and narrative control. Her vulnerability was no longer seen solely as a personal moment but as a reflection of systemic pressures that athletes face in a hyper-public environment. Fans, commentators, and analysts recognized that talent alone is insufficient. Visibility, media presence, and the ability to navigate public perception are equally important. Ultimately, this episode underscored a critical lesson for both athletes and audiences. Fame and influence amplify emotional moments, but they also create opportunities for dialogue, reflection, and growth. Angel Reese's experience demonstrated that vulnerability does not equate to weakness. It is part of navigating high-stakes environments under intense scrutiny. Ice Cube's commentary, while blunt, became a catalyst for broader discussions about authority, influence, and fairness in sports culture. Together, the incident and its aftermath offered insight into the complex realities of modern athletics, highlighting the interplay between talent, perception, and public opinion. In the end, Angel Reese's story wasn't just about a single public rejection. It was a defining moment that revealed the Pruhen authority meets talent. The conversation extended far beyond one live stream, creating a case study and resilience would reflect on for years to come, shaping how future interactions between rising stars and influential figures are interpreted and remembered. If your conversation that goes far beyond basketball, showing us how authority, celebrity, and public opinion can shape narratives in ways that affect even the most confident-ass moments in sports and entertainment, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Drop your THS? Sharing this video helps spread the conversation and reminds fans everywhere that understanding the full story is just as important as the clips we see online. Stay tuned for more.